Hello there, welcome to our special coverage this Monday evening. A day where the Finance Minister has pretty much laid out the road ahead for India's growth, for India's economy.
And it's been an interesting budget, particularly after the last two, because it seems at least that the Finance Minister and the Prime Minister and the government at large seems to have taken what appears to at least be a more forceful step towards certain sectors over others.
The key headlines at this hour.
A blow to the salaried class, 60% of employee contribution to EPF will be taxed on withdrawal, no change in income tax slabs. Another hit for the middle class, 0.5% cess on service tax, between 1 to 4% infrastructure cess on cars, air travel to get costlier, excise duty on ATF up from 8% to 14%. Government to spend 38,500 crore rupees on MGNREGA, the second highest ever allocation for the rural employment scheme. Presumptive tax expanded as per recommendation of the Ishwar panel. The government also increases time allowed for house construction to avail tax relief. Some of the demands seen and IBM has put forward in its Act for Tax campaign. Government rolls out the new health scheme, providing 1 lakh rupee cover per family and additional 30,000 for senior citizens.
जो फिलॉसफी है वो ये है कि जो बहुत अमीर लोग हैं उनसे थोड़ा लेकर जो गरीब हैं उनको राहत पहुंचाई जाए.
What is the one big takeaway for the average citizen? It is that there is no big idea.
The proof of the budget will be in its implementation, says the opposition. The Congress alleges upcoming assembly elections in Punjab, Bengal and Tamil Nadu have forced the BJP government into a socialist move. No budget boost for the Lal Street markets recover from their sharp fall, remain weak. Sensex ends over 150 points down, Nifty below the 7,000 mark.
This budget belongs to the off. You ask me what is off, I will tell you what is off. Off is old people, females and farmers. So if you have all three, old, female and farmer, you rock! You rock!
While we discuss the Modi Sarkar's budget, Cyrus Brocha gets to the budget that wasn't. Ahead on the show.
So there, already in less than 12 hours of the tabling of this budget, questions are being raised about whether there is some kind of a shift as far as Modi Sarkar's policy is concerned. Achhe Din was a promise that was made by Prime Minister Modi. Is he now working towards Achhe Din only for a certain set of people? Some of the key highlights, particularly on the taxation part, are as follows. On the EPF front, it's being dubbed as an employee provident fund shocker. Budget 2016 has introduced a tax on EPF withdrawals. Not something which has gone down well with large section of middle classes. Tax on EPF withdrawal to impact lakhs of salaried workers. Includes you, includes me. 60% of employee contribution to Provident Fund now will be taxable on withdrawal. That's the new announcement which has been made by the government. Tax applicable on employee contribution from the 1st of April 2016. A 0.5% cess on service tax. That will mean that every time you go and eat out to a restaurant, you buy branded clothes, or you go in for flying, everything will be more expensive. Cars have gotten expensive as well. SUVs in excess of 10 lakh rupees, 1% infrastructure cess. Petrol, diesel, CNG, all cars which run on these fuels will get expensive. Some of the other critical highlights of the Jaitley budget today. Second highest ever contribution which has been made to MGNREGA scheme, the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. 1 lakh health cover which has been given to families. Again, something which will go a long way in helping rural parts of India. Government to contribute to the EPF for 3 years for new employees. The government believes that this will go a long way in ensuring that people who are on contract ultimately end up being absorbed as permanent employees. No change in the personal income tax slabs. There were many who were hoping that there will be some relief. Not happening. For up to 5 lakh income, HRA limit up from 24,000 to 60,000 rupees. So if you are staying in a rented accommodation, you will end up benefiting. Surcharge on income above 1 crore up from 12 to 15%. So as we've been saying, Mr. Rich, pay more if you earn more. 10% dividend tax on incomes over 10 crores. That's the other critical decision which has been announced by the government. Black money, there is amnesty being provided to those who still have not declared their hidden unknown sources of income. 45% tax between June 1st and September 30th is a timeline which has been worked out. So you can go ahead and you can use that. Axe the Tax campaign. We had taken some suggestions that had been given by you to the finance minister, and the finance minister has decided to expand the ambit of presumptive taxes. Only 5 crore rupees for bank recapitalization. Many were wondering whether the government will ultimately come up with some kind of a solid plan to ensure that the PSU banks, the public sector banks, which were all bleeding, will it in some form the government will try and provide them with some kind of a formula to try and work things around for these banks. The critical question which emerges in light of all these factors that we have pointed out today is the Modi Sarkar trying to